Welcome to The Explainer. Anytime you've chatted with an AI, asked it to rate something, or even generate an image for you, you've been using tokens, even if you didn't know it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this absolutely fundamental concept. We'll explore how these invisible little building blocks are really the true language and, yes, the currency of the entire AI world. So, when I say the word token, what pops into your head? Maybe cryptocurrency? Or some item you'd collect in a video game? Well, let's clear up that confusion right now. In the world of AI, tokens are something else entirely. They are the secret language that every single AI model uses to understand our world and to communicate back to us. All right, so here's our game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to build this up from the ground, starting with the basics. What even are these things? Then we'll get into how they're actually made and used to teach an AI how to think. And finally, we'll connect it all back to the real world and look at the powerful economics driving this whole new digital currency. Okay, let's dive right in. Our first section tackles the most basic question of all. What exactly is an AI token? Getting this right is absolutely the key to unlocking how AI actually works under the hood. The best way to think about a token is to picture it as an atom for AI, right? Just like all matter in the universe is made up of atoms, all the information an AI processes is first broken down into these tiny fundamental units. A token could be a whole word, maybe just part of a word, or even a single comma. So here's why this matters. Tokens are essentially translators. They build a bridge from our complex, kind of messy human world, our language, our images, our sounds, and they convert it all into a structured numerical format that a computer can actually work with. This translation isn't just a small step, it's the very foundation of an AI's ability to learn anything at all. Okay, so if tokens are the atoms of AI, then how are they made? Where do they come from? Let's get into the process that actually translates our world into a language AI can understand. This transformation is the critical first step for any model. Well, that process is called tokenization. You can think of it as creating a super specialized dictionary just for the AI. And doing this well is incredibly important. It's the difference between an AI that's fast and cheap to run versus one that's slow and unbelievably expensive. When it comes to text, there are a couple of ways to slice and dice it. You could make every single word its own token, but then the AI's dictionary would become gigantic. So a much smarter and more common way is called subword tokenization. It breaks words into smaller, meaningful chunks, which is way more efficient for handling complex or rare words without totally overwhelming the model. Okay, check this out. Let's take a simple word, darkness. A smart tokenizer sees this and doesn't treat it as just one thing. Instead, it splits it into two useful parts, the root word, dark, and the suffix, ness. Then, each of those subword tokens gets its own unique ID number from the model's huge vocabulary. And this is where the magic really starts. When the model sees another word, like brightness, the tokenizer does the same thing. It finds that ness suffix again and assigns it the exact same number, 655. Now, after seeing this pattern thousands and thousands of times, the AI starts to learn. It figures out, hey, words ending in this ness token often describe a quality or a state of being. This is how an AI begins to understand context and meaning. And get this whole idea isn't just for words on a page. To an AI, everything has to be tokenized. For an image, a token might just be a small patch of pixels. For an audio file, the sound waves are often converted into a visual picture called a spectrogram, and then that image is broken down into tokens. Every single thing must become a token before an AI can see it. All right, we've got a handle on what tokens are and how they're made. So what's next? Well, now we use them to actually teach an AI how to think. This is the training phase, and it's where the real learning happens, one token at a time. There's a really simple but powerful rule in AI. The more high-quality data, meaning the more tokens you train a model on, the smarter it gets. It's really that straightforward. We're talking about training models on datasets that are just unimaginable in size, containing trillions of tokens, which is like feeding it every book ever written and then some. So, what does training actually look like? Well, you can think of it as a massive, repetitive guessing game. The model gets a sentence, like the cat sat on the, but the last word is hidden. Its only job is to guess the next token. If it gets it wrong, it adjusts its internal wiring a little bit. If it's right, it reinforces those connections. Now, just repeat that process billions or even trillions of times,
and the model starts to build an incredibly deep understanding of patterns in language and logic.
Okay, so after all that training, all those billions of guesses, the model graduates. It's ready to be put to work. This part is called inference, and as you've probably guessed, tokens are just as critical here as they were in training. This is where the model actually uses what it's learned to help you. So when you go to an AI chatbot and type in a question, the very first thing that happens is your text gets tokenized. The model takes in those tokens, thinks about them, and then starts generating a brand new sequence of tokens, one by one, that form its answer. And the final step? That string of numbers is de-tokenized back into the words that you see on your screen. Now, there's a really important limitation here, and it's called the context window. The easiest way to think about it is as the AI's short-term memory or its attention span. It can only look at and think about a certain number of tokens at any given moment. A small context window might only let it read a page of a document, while some of the newer, bigger models can handle 1,000,000 tokens at once. That's enough to read an entire novel in one go. But this whole system isn't without its challenges. That fixed context window is a big one. It limits how much information the AI can handle. Plus, tokenization isn't always perfect. Sometimes a word could be broken down in different ways, which can cause confusion. And maybe most importantly, a tokenizer that's built for English is going to be terrible for a language with a totally different structure, like Mandarin or Arabic. You have to build brand new ones from scratch for those. All right, for our final section, let's bring this all back down to earth and talk about something we can all understand: money. Because in the business of AI, tokens aren't just a technical thing, they function like a brand new type of currency that measures cost, value, and performance. This quote just nails it. Tokens have this kind of split personality. During that long training phase, processing trillions of tokens is a huge upfront investment. You're literally paying to create intelligence. But once that model is built and people are using it, the number of tokens it processes directly determines how much it costs to run and how much money it can make. And we're not talking about small savings here. When you see a number like 20x, that is a massive deal. By improving the software and using the latest specialized computer chips, the cost to process just a single token can be slashed by a factor of 20 or even more. That's a revolutionary drop in cost. It's what makes AI services cheaper, more accessible, and actually profitable on a huge scale. And all of this token processing speed directly impacts how you feel when you use an AI. The time to first token, that's how long you have to wait for it to start typing. A short wait feels responsive and quick. Inter-token latency is how fast the rest of the words appear. If it's smooth, it feels like you're reading along naturally. These metrics, all driven by tokens, are what make an AI feel helpful instead of slow and frustrating. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that tokens are so much more than just a technical detail. They are the fundamental unit that defines what an AI can do, how much it costs, and what its limits are. When you understand tokens, you really understand the language that our future is being built with. And that leaves us with a final, pretty big thought to chew on. If tokens really are the new currency of intelligence, then the companies and the systems that design these models, that create the tokenizers, and that process all these tokens at a massive scale, well, they hold an incredible amount of power. Understanding this new token-based economy is going to be key to understanding the future of technology itself.